In Atomy, the highest level of mastership and the ultimate goal of all Atomians is Imperial Master. There are many people who have already reached this great achievement, but today, the very first Imperial Master will be giving us a special lecture. Please welcome Imperial Master Jung-Soo Park.
It's a do-or-die struggle for 2 years to make $2,000 to $3,000 a month. It only took a year to go from making $10,000 to $20,000 a month. Within just a year, I went up to $20,000, and it didn't take that long to go from making $20,000 to $40,000 a month. Hello, I'm Imperial Master Jung-Soo Park. When they first encounter Atomy, most people take it too lightly. They start thinking that they'll succeed right away. But in reality, this work takes longer than you think. So this business is like a marathon. I think this business is one where you make consumers. This is a distribution business, and in the end, we have to make sales through consumers. The process of making those consumers actually takes up a lot of time. When you go to someone and tell them our products are great, since you know that Atomy products are really good and cheap, you assume that they'd buy it right away. But in fact, people don't. You have to convince them in that respect. Why the products are good and how they are cheap. My friend recently became an auto sales master. When I looked at her journey to become an auto sales master, it took her about 2 years to get there. Seeing my friend made me realize that it usually takes around 2 to 3 years to make it. Those 2 to 3 years and the process during it, the most difficult period in my opinion. This is the most difficult period we have to overcome in our work. There are many people who give up at this time. Of course, I also got rejected. When I presented some cosmetics to a really close friend, she said, I get visits from countless salespeople like you. It was so very difficult for me as well. But because I know that our products are really good, even when my friend said that, I thought it was because she didn't know. I just worked even harder. We talk a lot about our work like fruits of a tree. For example, when we first plant an apple tree after 2 to 3 years, what happens once it bears ripe apples? We pick and eat them every year, right? It seems like we're just working without any apples ripening, but once our work starts bearing fruit, the results are so very sweet, right? Once I made my consumers, and they contacted me saying that they wanted to repurchase, it made me so very happy. And one day, after making consumers that way, money had come into my account. That money wasn't so big, just $70 to $80, but it was the result of consumers I had worked so hard to recruit. It felt like one day money had just come in automatically into my account. It felt like free money. I thought it was so fun and exciting. And at that time, my dream wasn't really to become an Imperial Master. My biggest source of energy was from people telling me one by one that Atomy products were so cheap and good. Thanks to that, I was able to enjoy my work. If you make consumers like that after 2 to 3 years, the $70 to $80 from earlier can become $200 to $300, and then one day you achieve Sales Master and make $5,000 a month. And then at some point you become a Diamond Master who makes $10,000. In some ways, this work is like the principle of doubling. It's not long before you go from $10,000 to $20,000 a month. Some people think that sales are something they can make happen on their own. Without making consumers properly, there are cases where people get masterships that way. Those people are bound to struggle once they achieve their mastership. If they achieve mastership without consumers, money isn't actually coming in because consumers aren't repurchasing. But if you struggle honestly for 2 to 3 years, you can easily rise to Royal Master and even Imperial Master. Those 2 to 3 years are what leads to those results. A lot of people ask, how can I succeed? I'd like to tell you an easy way to succeed, but there's no easy way. Those who want to do this business the easy way are afraid of encountering people on the field. If you actually meet people and go out into the field, it can give you the answer through various opportunities. When you actually go out on the field and make relationships with consumers, you can recognize when someone will become an auto consumer, and once you become an auto sales master, you realize that it was because of so and so. And when you interact with people, you can see whose business isn't doing so well or who is trying it out for just a year. You can see who you can attract into trying Atomy business and who can be an Atomy contractor. I was able to see this kind of hope. When you see this hope, you also got courage. You feel that someday you can also really become an auto sales master. You get this kind of confidence, so I really want to tell all of you to truly focus and run out in the field. If you want to easily skip this process and just give lectures, or wish someone else can do the work that you have to do, then in fact, your business will take a lot more time and be much more difficult. But everyone, think about it. I earn over $1 million a year. How can someone earn this much and rise to this position without going through a certain process? Actually, I don't think that this process was really difficult. I want to ask if any of you are going hungry. The chairman always said that among gatherings of beggars like us, he was the king beggar when he started his company. We could not help call ourselves beggars because we didn't have the money to buy a meal, and there were some members who couldn't afford transportation costs and just walked. We did business like this with great difficulty. In my case, I left my young kids to do this work. But I had this thought. Once I spent time not working, I thought that I'd never be able to escape this studio apartment. That was more scary for me, and how much more destabilizing it would be for my children. So with those thoughts, well, it was difficult. I left my kids and went around doing this work. So looking back, when I think about how difficult it was for us back then, no matter how hard it is for all of you right now, there are always difficulties in the past and present. Struggles are all difficult in the same way. I think it depends on how you make up your mind. It was because of the earnest desire in our hearts that we were able to overcome that process in which we had no money for transportation or meals. That's how we were able to overcome those periods and achieve success. Exactly why I'm doing this work and what I want to give to my family and children are what I thought about in order to overcome truly difficult challenges. If you clearly decide your goals for success and you really believe and practice that, I'm sure you'll be able to feel that happiness. As I said before, I truly want to be a parent who is respected by her children, a parent who can truly do something for her children, and being a truly reliable sister for her siblings. I am really proud of these things. So, after making money, it doesn't make me so happy to spend it on myself. What's there for me to spend on? I can wear nice clothes, drive a nice car, and eat well enough. But those things aren't what make me happy. I feel the happiest when I can be a parent who does something for children. That's the biggest happiness for me. So if you just overcome this difficult period, you'll know later that this fruit is truly sweet. The more shortcuts you try to take with Atomy business, the harder it is. Everyone has to overcome this difficult process. There are no Imperial Masters who haven't overcome this process. Don't give up during this time as you do this business.